Today we're going to talk about how to sync your audio with your video, why you'd want to do that, what to do when you're recording, and how to do it when you're editing. The first question, why? Why would you want to do this? Why take the extra trouble to do this? Well, in short, you'll get much better sound. Most cameras, unless you're using something that has an XLR connector, doesn't have a very good audio circuit in it, and almost any audio recorder can make better sound than what your camera can. In this case, for example, I'm using a Zoom H1 recorder, and I have this coming in through a lavalier microphone. I can get much better sound with this into the Zoom H1 than I can even with the same lavalier hooked into the camera itself, just because the audio circuitry is so much better in this recorder. Three things to keep in mind when you're actually recording. Number one, you want to make sure you're still recording with your camera. That audio will become the scratch track to which you will sync your external audio. Number two, you want to make sure you're at the same sampling rate on your camera and your external recorder. Usually, 99.9% of the time on your camera, that's going to be 48 kilohertz or 48K. Just set your audio recorder to that same sampling rate. And then number three, use something that you can use as a reference point. That's what these slates are for, with the clapper. Or if you don't have one of those, that's just fine. All you need to do is clap, and that makes a good enough reference point as well. So let's see how to edit it together. Okay, one quick note about sample rate. I mentioned that you needed to match that up between your camera and your audio recorder, and the reason for that is so that you don't get what's called audio drift, and that is where you would line up and sync the first part of the audio with the first part of the video, but then if you go down line, if you go to the end of the clip, let's say maybe 10 minutes later, if you have a long clip, the audio would no longer be in sync by the end of the clip. So that's why it's important to make sure that you get your sample rates lined up using the same. All right, now we're going to show you, once you bring this footage into your editor, how to sync up the audio. So you can see here I've got a piece of footage that I've just dropped down to my timeline. I also have my audio, which was recorded from my audio device, my Zoom H1. I'm just going to bring that down here and drop that in. Okay, next what I want to do is take a break here and actually mention, while I'm doing this in Premiere Pro, you can do this in pretty much any editor. I've done this also in the Sony Vegas and Movie Studio applications. I've done it in Power Director. I'm sure you can do it in Premiere Elements and pretty much any of the other, the Avid Media Composer, obviously, and any of the Avid products. So don't get too caught up on the specifics of this, but let me just teach you the principle here, and I'm sure you can apply it in your case as well. So I'm going to zoom in to the timeline here. Okay. Now once I've done that, I'm going to expand the audio, and you can see here there's a spike on both of these near the start, and that's when I used my clapper board. And that's why using a clapper board or clapping is really helpful, because now all I have to do is line those two up, and I will be able to get my audio in sync. So what I'm going to do is I just put my marker there, and now I'm going to zoom in as far as I possibly can. Now in Premiere, when I zoom in 100%, I can see each individual frame. That's what each of these marks represent, as an individual frame. So I'm going to put my marker actually over on this guy right here, and then just drag the video to line up with it. Now, I'm dragging the video just because the start on my audio was actually longer, so I have to drag the video. But either one you can drag, and you just want to get those lined up. So that's about as close as I can get them lined up. Let's go ahead and run through that with both of the clips on so that I can hear what it sounds like. Today we're going to talk about how to sync your audio with your video. Okay, that's great. That did it for me. You can tell because I didn't get any major sync issues there, so I was listening to both tracks. Now what I want to do is go ahead and disable the scratch track that came in with the video and clean up the tracks a little bit so that I can link the new audio, the audio that I recorded with my external recorder, up to the video. Now, a couple things I need to do to do that. I'm going to go grab my cutting tool, come back in here, put my marker down, and I just want to get the start of the audio at the same place that the video starts, and then I want to scroll to the end here real quickly. This is a short clip. Put my marker there and chop off the extra audio because I don't need any of that. Once I've done that, I go back to my pointer tool, come in here, I can delete the excess, and the excess up on the front as well. Okay, now I've got them the same size. What I want to do is take this scratch audio and get rid of it. And the way I do that in Premiere, at least, is I unlink it. There's similar functionality again in all those other editors, so I can just delete it once it's unlinked. Then I just highlight these two, and I choose link, and now they are linked together. You'll see if I collapse this guy here. Yep, there's my audio. Now when I move my video, my audio moves with it, and if I play it, today we're going to talk about how to sync your audio with your video, why you want. And there we have it, perfectly synced audio with your video. Now, I wanted to illustrate that to show you how simple it is. And the reason I'm interested in showing you how simple it is because I want to show you that it's really very much worth it. You get much better audio when you use a dedicated audio recorder to capture your audio. Capture audio with your camera at the same time, which you're going to call your scratch audio, and all you're going to use that for is to line the two of them up at the end. You bring the audio and the video clips into your editor, you line up the clap marks on the waveform, and then you get rid of the scratch audio and link the dedicated audio recording up to the video clip, and you're all set to go. Hope you found that helpful. Thanks for checking out the video, and we'll talk to you again soon.